See, I'm starting trouble.
Wow.
I am starting trouble. We'll never have Hulk Hogan on, but you'll have a whole bunch of others on who do
All right,
naughty
guys,
things.
hot spot. As we all know,
Yeah.
wrestler Tommy Dreamer suspended for Dark Side of the Ring comments on the Ric Flair allegations. Wrestler Tommy Dreamer has been suspended indefinitely by Impact Wrestling.
Oh, darn.
And also by Busted Open Radio. Host Dave Legreca commented on statements made by Tommy Dreamer and on his recent episode of Dark Side of the Ring regarding Ric Flair's conduct on the plane ride from hell. Legreca did not hold back on criticizing Dreamer, one of 3 co-hosts of Busted Open Radio, saying his remarks wouldn't be tolerated. I felt that I needed to start off today's show to talk about a few different things. Legreca said, I'm still quite frankly shocked at what Tommy said. I think that he definitely was out of character, the Tommy that I know. First of all, let's not talk like the guy murdered somebody.
I know, my
let's
God.
not get out of control here.
Yeah, please.
Who has been hosting the show for few years now. And I can't and I will not defend the comments because they're indefensible. Quite frankly, the things Tommy said were Tommy fucked up on Thursday, and that what he said insensitive and won't be tolerated.
Oh, thanks, Captain Morals. Okay, go on. I had to. I don't even know who the hell that is anyway, but go on.
A lot of people say, well, in 2021, you can't say this. It doesn't matter if it's 2021, 1998, or 1985.
Wrong! 1985, you could say it all day long. Next.
Really?
Sure.
Elaborate.
1985, everybody made fun of everybody, and everybody got over it in 2 seconds by countering with something to say about them.
Well, as a father, as a husband,
Those were the days.
Knowing my daughter now has just turned 18, and she's about to go into the world and start college soon,
Fair
now
enough.
working, these are things that I worry about my own family.
Fair
and
enough.
people who had to worry about for this year and just fuck it, whatever. But okay.
Now, hold on a
Hold
second.
on,
He's
I got something to say
Oh,
here.
please, by all means, but geez.
This is the same guy that every time Ric Flair comes on, he goes, oh my God, Ric Flair, you're the greatest guy ever. Are you going to ban Ric Flair from your fucking show?
Or are you going to let
Legreca?
him wave his wiener like a helicopter?
Oh, no, yeah. It's,
You know?
well, it's Ric Flair. He's the greatest of all time.
Well, that's okay then. Woo. Hypocrite.
Yes.
Freaking hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
Oh, and by the way, if you're so concerned about your daughter, why does every other sentence got to start with effing? Since you want to play the high ground. No? Let me tell you, if I don't have any daughter, well, that's a long story. Once upon a time, there was one. But, you know, if I had one, I certainly wouldn't be practicing the F-bomb on a regular basis in front of her.
My whole point is, look.
But how about that?
If Tommy Dreamer we were on XM and Tommy Dreamer was on,
Yeah.
you'd probably have to cut him loose for the comments. There's no doubt in my mind, okay?
In today's
there
society,
was stupid
Yes.
comments. And,
Yes.
But let's break this down
I
a
get
little
that.
bit. All right,
Absolutely.
First of all, do you remember? Do you know all the comments that were made?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, I watched it.
Can you name some of the comments that he said?
Well, you
and
know
let's get
what?
into it a
To
little bit?
summarize, basically, what he was getting at is just the boys being the boys, which was one of his. Look, it's clear he was defending the boys in the business, and you know what's funny? In a way, Tommy, you shouldn't have bothered because I don't see anybody coming to help you now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Tommy was trying to stick up for the business in his own way. Did it come across insensitive? Yeah, it did. Would he probably like to take back the words? Yeah, he probably would. But I feel like Tommy was downplaying it, which was like, you know, that's a no-no, obviously, from what... But, you know, can we be fair? And I think you said this to me, too. The people who made that Dark Side of the Ring...
Very good.
Boy, oh boy, did they tailor that to make Tommy look like shit. I mean, honestly... I felt that they did, and they of course made the victim, the woman, out to be, you know, an angel, which I'm really not. I'm sure somewhere in the middle lies more of the truth, you know. But I do feel like it was like almost made to make him look like shit, you know. I heard Rob Van Dam was even having to explain some of his statements,
Well,
and I didn't see anything wrong that Rob Van Dam said.
Here's
you know?
what Rob Van Dam said.
Go ahead.
That's what guys wanted to see. That's what makes them laugh.
Right.
That was his comment.
He shouldn't have to defend that because honestly, Rob was also the one who said, "Is anybody going to tell everybody this is possibly not okay to be doing?" You know what I mean?
He also said he remembers Flair crowding her and trying to make her touch him and stuff. Dreamer defended Flair, saying that Ric Flair is not going to try to impose his force, any sexual stuff onto anybody. He's just flaunting style and profiling. Ric Flair stuff where everything goes and laugh about it. So, in what world has anyone come from that it's okay to put someone in a situation?
No, it's not.
Where you think it's funny that
Right.
you put your penis
It's not funny.
in their face.
It's not funny.
What world does... All right, first of all, that's why Dreamer needed to be let go.
Right.
Because
Understood.
even to say something that
Totally.
stupid,
Yeah. Yep.
you need to be let go.
Yep.
And like you said, the Dark Side of the Ring made it worse because after he said it, then they put Miss Doyle on.
Oh, they clipped it. So
and
he
Miss
just,
Doyle was like, look,
Yep.
I had to live with this the rest of my life.
And that's
we'll get
not,
into her comments in a little bit.
That's not right either that she had to go through that either. And by the way, though, where are all the heroes on the plane while he's doing this to her? What are they doing?
All right, let me.
What were they all doing?
Maria Davis, great comment.
What
and
do
I
you got,
think Farrah
Maria?
should address this.
What do you got?
Maria wrote,
Okay.
I read that the airline stewardess had a history of lying and stole.
See, you know what? I discussed it with you, too. Something tells me she's not so poly purebred. Okay? I said that to you off the air. But, of course, I am just speculating. I don't know for sure either way. Hell, I don't know for sure what went on that plane. They could
Again,
sit there and say, this happened and that happened. I
If
wasn't
your
there.
background,
I don't know.
if your background's incriminating in
Right.
some sort of way,
Right. Right.
still doesn't mean that you should be put through.
No.
Okay.
No.
This is not a story like Rob Van Dam. And by the way, Rob wanted to talk about it on the interview on Saturday, but you know we just never got around to it. And honestly, at that point, I didn't even think it was. Look, if you're a wrestling fan, you heard about this plane flight
For
20 years ago.
Yeah, for years.
It wasn't new news to me.
Right.
Did I know Ric Flair was cornering a lady, or Scott Hall was ripping her shirt off, or you know?
Goldust wasn't very well behaved either.
Exactly.
On this flight. Although, ironically, I think he's the one who got on the mic and told him that might be, maybe come over here, Rick. It's getting a little weird down there. Get over here. But Goldust was also misbehaving terribly from what I, saw on that documentary.
Another clear thing I want to make clear. I know this.
These are grown men too, by the way. Sorry, bro. I just had that. These are grown men. What the hell?
But
what do you think
let's
this is?
make something
Football
clear.
camp? What are you guys
Vince
doing?
McMahon was not on.
But they
those
say it though
flights.
during the documentary.
Again,
so it's false reporting.
That's false reporting.
It's false reporting.
There is no doubt. I personally know for a fact.
Well,
Vince McMahon was not on that flight.
From that,
Linda
company.
McMahon was on that flight.
Right.
Vince McMahon wasn't. And to behave like that with Linda McMahon
you gotta
on
be out
the
of your
flight.
mind. Yeah, you got to be crazy to be doing that. But whatever. You know what though? We've said it before, and if this offends certain wrestlers who watch this show, and I know that wrestlers watch this show, you guys are a bunch of spoiled babies. What are you guys doing? You're making that kind of money. This is what you do. I mean, come on. Now, look, I've had a good time too. I've had good times too. Trust me, and I can hang with you guys. Okay. But I wouldn't be doing some of the things I heard about on that plane. What the hell are you guys doing?
But at the expense of abusing another.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, what the hell are you doing? You're already blessed with sick money and success.
Answer this one. B40 says that.
Yeah, what do you got?
Why is it not allowed to question a woman's motives, especially since she took the payout?
Right.
And Dreamer got screwed.
I agree. I did think about that. I'm like, so what happened to the clause, the payout clause? What, did it expire? And now you could throw them under the bus after you took the money? So yeah, I get that. I get what was it? B40? Is that what you said?
Yeah, B40.
I get what they're saying. I totally get what they're saying. Look, somewhere in the middle is probably more the truth, but we're never going to know. It's always going to be he said, she said, this one said, that one said. So we're going to be left.
It goes back to this. You're with a woman. Mm-hmm. You begin to have intercourse with her.
Okay.
Right. There is actual penetration.
Okay.
All right.
I would hope so if you're beginning to have intercourse.
And the woman says, stop.
Oh, you better stop.
Do you stop?
You better stop.
Right? That's the right thing to do.
You better.
So just because the stewardess stole.
Right.
And she lied.
Right.
And she took a payout.
You're right.
Still doesn't allow for Ric Flair to do what he did.
Right.
For Scott Hall to do what he did.
Right. Right.
And to be honest with you, for Dreamer to make... Because he made light of it. Mm-hmm. Okay? he deserves what he gets.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And also, again, I find it very interesting. He was sticking up for the business. You could see it. To me, he was. It's wrong what he was doing, but he was sticking up for the boys, and he was sticking up for the business, and he was saying, "Come on."
And where are the boys for you now, Pop?
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Where are they now?
Tommy stood up for you guys, and what the hell have you done to back
Where's
Tommy?
your partner, Legreca?
You know what I mean?
He threw the baby with the bathwater right away.
And while he's doing it, Captain Moral is yelling the F word as he throws it out.
Where's his partner, Bubba Ray?
Yeah, where is Bubba Ray?
Huh? Why isn't he defending the boys?
Where is Bubba Ray?
Why is he not defending Tommy Dreamer? He didn't say a word about Tommy Dreamer.
Actually, he did. He turned to Devon and said, "Devon, get the tables!" And they fucking threw him through a table because this is what it's
with friends like that. You don't need friends.
Who needs enemies?
Seriously. I didn't hear Bubba Ray say one word.
Right.
That's your partner. You were in ECW like a forever.
Insane.
That's your radio partner. Legreca, same thing. Not one of you came to his defense. You bailed out.
They did.
C4P says Flair had the mentality of a college frat boy. We'll say boy. All his life still does. Not saying he should get a pass, but all he did was act like a drunken fool. And And
that's
it's
fair.
not like he raped the girl.
No, it's not. It's not, but it's still, look, I'll put it this way. I never had a sister, but if I had a sister and Ric Flair did that to my sister, Ric Flair can no longer go woo, and Ric Flair no longer has a big member because I cut it off. Okay? I don't want to get too graphic here, but, you do not do that. All right? That's all there is to it. All right? And if he did do that, you effing pig. Woo.
Phil Descar says, hold on, this is really another great point. Great points tonight, guys. Fantastic. It goes to show you the abuse these guys have taken over the years. Dreamer going through the table stacked from the top. The arena can't help one's thinking.
Right. That could be part of it too, man. That could be part of it too. Look, it's a tight-knit frat until something like this happens, and then you find out maybe it's not so tight because Tommy's been thrown under the bus and everyone's just letting him get backed over.
802, great point. He says Flair was a made man. I guess he could do whatever, according to JR. Where is JR's culpability in that plane flight?
JR, you know what was interesting?
Now, Kurt Hennig got fired off that plane
he
flight.
Sure did.
Scott Hall got fired. Ric Flair survived.
You notice Brock Lesnar didn't get touched?
Well, yeah, well.
Right. Well, tell me why you just immediately went well. Because he's like Ric Flair. Bought and paid for.
I'm going to disagree with you on that one.
What do you got?
I will tell you that I think, and
they
I
almost
heard it,
hit the emergency
Kurt
door.
Hennig had worn his welcome. He was already over
true.
the hill.
And he was a legendary kidder.
Right.
And
jokester. And it probably was getting annoying, according to what I heard.
Right.
And, so maybe it's just like, you know what? I'm done with this.
Right.
Brock Lesnar, on the other hand, is your future.
Right.
And it's like, he's getting involved with the wrong idiot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
whatever.
Not to sound like a cold-hearted prick, but obviously Vince McMahon backed the right horse there. You're already have outlived your usefulness, Kurt. You're a problem. Bye, Brock. You're the future. Hello. It might be cold, but that's what Vince did, and it turned out to be financially the right thing to do. But where did it lead?
Hold on, I got a comment here. I don't understand. Ill America.
Away.
Hey, fellows. Hello. What did I walk into? We're cutting off members.
He's talking about what I do to Ric Flair if he went near my sister. That'd be the end of the Nature Boy. Wouldn't be so naturous after that. What are you gonna do?
So,
good comment.
Did JR fail?
Yeah, JR failed, and he even said he failed. He did say he failed, but he also said what I do agree with. I'm not their babysitter. I gotta freaking be around them all the time. Now, I will say this though, JR, you don't get bailed out in this situation because JR was like, I gotta be around them all the time. Well, you were around them. You were on the same damn plane. Get your fat ass to the back and calm them down. What are you doing, JR? You're fired. You know what I mean? But you know what's funny? You can never say anything about JR either, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever say anything bad about JR, it's like talking about the Pope. Bullshit. Bullshit. That was a bad job, JR. You should have gone back there and said, everybody sit your asses down and calm the F down. Enough.
Well, let's makes it a little worse. So
Man, I'm
we
getting
talked
crazy
about
over
Miss
this.
Doyle's past.
Yeah.
Ric Flair had previously denied Miss Doyle's allegations. In
Right.
2004, Doyle and a
Right.
second flight attendant filed a lawsuit against the WWE and
How'd that
several
go?
wrestlers, including Flair, for assault and battery,
How'd that go?
intentional inflection and emotion. Both parties eventually settled out of court.
So there was something to settle over. See, I always believe that when you're settling, there's something to settle over. Was it more like just shut the F up and take this $50? I mean, what was it? I'm sure it was more than $50, by the way. I'm just making a joke.
I understand, right?
I mean, there must have been something there. No? What do you think?
I agree, 100%.
So
It's certain. Now we get to the point where Tommy Dreamer goes to Twitter and he apologizes for what he had said.
okay.
Why apologize? If you felt strong enough to say this during
Then you
a
stand
thing,
by it.
and why wouldn't you stand by it?
You got to stand by your words, man. You got to. Because if you don't, then you immediately look like you are completely in the wrong for doing anything. If this was his opinion, he should have stuck to it. The end. The end.
Do you think this affects future shows? I mean, in next year for Dark Side of the Ring, will these wrestlers say this isn't worth it? And second question to you, Pharaoh, and the fans out there, I want you to think about this.
Yeah.
Did Tommy Dreamer realize what he said? And if he did he try to get it to be snuffed and pulled out?
I can't answer that. I don't know. Tommy probably, as he was, look, he meant it. You could see that he meant what he was saying. So he probably didn't give it a second thought. He probably didn't give it a second thought. But if I was his friends, I would have been like, if before that went on the air, I would be like, Tommy, you're not looking too good here. You might want to tell them to take that off. You're not looking too good.
Do you think these wrestlers feel like they're just above the law all the time?
Some of them
untouchable?
do. Some of them do. It's pretty obvious that some of them do. Ric Flair clearly thinks he's above a lot of things.
B40, Legreca has no spine.
No.
If I was Dreamer, I'd make sure a guest on his show dried up real quick. Mm-hmm. It's damn straight before.
Yeah, I agree
because
with that.
again, with friends like that,
who needs enemies?
Who needs them?
Right.
Listen, I understand
I agree.
that the show has to make a decision on something like that.
Right.
But I would tell you
Right.
this. I don't think Legreca had to even make a statement. It wasn't necessary.
Yeah,
all they had to say, suspended.
Right.
He didn't have to... But for him to go on and chastise his partner,
Right.
I would hope if I did something wrong...
If you truly care about somebody,
Right.
which I would like to think by now that they've worked together long enough where Legreca would have some care for Tommy Dreamer. Honestly, I wouldn't have even announced anything. I just would have said, go home. I'll talk to you when this cools the
Well, you
F
might
down,
have to announce it
and we'll
because you have a
see whether-
fan base that would be asking, but you can address it in a way where
that he's
you
been
don't...
placed on leave.
Right.
And we don't know
Or
when
for
he
further
will return
investigation.
or if he will return. Right now, we're looking into it. Instead of, I'm up here and you're down here and you stay down there and I'm gonna preach to you because I'm Captain Morals.
Well, do you know to this day,
Bite me.
to this
What
day, people don't even know what happened to Triple H yet. We don't know what kind of heart incident it
Right.
had. You know why? Because they keep the crap under wraps.
They sure do.
You know what? Again, you
sure
broke
do.
bread with Tommy Dreamer, Legreca. All right, you're as low as it goes, dude. You are all about yourself, bro, and I gotta mean
Absolutely.
that 100%.
Absolutely.
honestly.
And if you fans out there who may listen to his torturous bullshit, he's cashing in on this by doing that statement. He knows what he's doing. He's calling attention to himself over the whole thing by chastising Tommy Dreamer. I'm not buying it. I'm
Joe
not
Shipley says
buying
nobody
it.
forced Dreamer to say moronic things. He did.
That's
Absolutely.
very true.
But again,
It's certainly not defending
I'm not
Tommy.
saying stand by a murderer. I'm not saying even the guy that killed that young lady, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Wait, innocent
that's
till
right.
proven
You're
guilty.
right. You're right. I stand
Ah!
corrected. Thank you.
Okay, go on.
His family is standing behind him.
Right.
There's ways to stand behind people. Again, Tommy Dreamer did not murder anybody. And
No.
believe me, people, I can't stand Tommy Dreamer. I think he was the worst wrestler of all time.
well,
And I mean that.
I know you do.
I think he's
Ah.
as boring as dry paint. Couldn't stand
You
him in
leave
ECW.
dried paint alone.
I know. I'm really.
What are you doing? Dried paint
I'm
is
giving dry paint a bad
that's
name.
rough. I'm calling Benjamin Moore. This is rough. You leave the dried paint alone. What did it ever do?
802
except
says I
dry?
can't stand that show.
There you go.
I can't stand LaGreca. I can't stand Bubba Ray, and I
Right.
couldn't stand Tommy Dreamer.
Okay,
so
that's
you
fine.
know what?
That's fine.
But you know what?
I personally love Bubba Ray. Okay, can I
Fine.
say that for the record?
That's
I personally
fine.
love Bubba Ray. Tommy, I've never hated, but I also feel like Tommy had a quarter's worth of talent and turned it into a $20 bill.
B40 says, Legreca's been married 4 times. Loyalty is not his thing. You are so right.
How dare Legreca? How many times did he? What?
4 times.
Good Lord, man.
4 times.
Like
4 times. 4 times.
That was 3. 4 times. That was 4.
There you
now
go.
we got 4. What is he, Booker T of weddings? What the hell is this?
I haven't seen his wives. Has anyone ever seen any
I
pictures
don't-
of her?
would you-
Please tell
would-
me if his
would you
wives were any
please?
good
I've
looking, because
got
that guy's just a mealy worm.
This is.
A mealy worm.
Remember when he introduced himself to us because he wanted to know who we were? You remember that?
That's right.
Oh, hey, what's your guy's name?
How about the
Blah, blah,
time
blah,
he
blah,
called
blah.
me and said, hey, Monty, can you call into the show?
That was great. Yeah.
And then he called second, hey, Monty, can you call into the show?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Remember
Oh,
that?
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
I certainly
true
do.
stories.
I certainly do.
Or how about the time we said, hey, Tommy Dreamer, you want to come on the show? And he says, I hate you guys.
I
And we
know he
said,
hates us.
We hate you back.
Yeah, whatever. You know, it's all fair in hate and hate. I mean, love and war.
Todd Beecraft says, I think Dreamer was boring also.
He was boring.
But
He was.
what did Paint do to be compared to Dreamer?
That's what I'm saying.
With that, we got to take a commercial break. I'm so sorry, Paint.
Oh, man.
I apologize.
I'm going to go paint the John. I'll be right back.
You need a body shop? You need engine repair? Auto Excellence. Collision Specialists. 631-261-6420. That's 631-261-6420. Auto Excellence.
Jeff Quest, graphics design, custom vinyl lettering, and all your art and video needs. 516-317-8204. That's for Jeff Quest, graphic design. And Nitro's Garage for all your automotive needs. Call 646-675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage. Ask for Jack.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's number one pro wrestler and broadcast, Monty Nefaro, only seen here out of Indie Music TV. Matty Ice.
Matty Ice.
Real quick, my friend, being the millennial that you are, Phil Descare says Dutch boy. Yes, absolutely. Jay Bone says Dreamer was a fat hack. Yeah, he was, for sure.